We get
Shout
a
out
cheers.
Starbucks.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
where's my camera at, bro? Is it
that
right
one,
there?
that one, yeah.
Okay. Shout out. Hey, man, we in Blow Smoke, man. What's poppin'?
What you got in the Starbucks cup, bro?
Motherfucking shout out, y'all. Hey, I can't go wrong, bro. My New Year's resolution is drink more ranch water.
You
drink more ranch water.
You drinking a lot of ranch water, G. It's the second episode.
Facts.
Man,
Facts.
cheers, bro.
Shit.
If y'all don't know, man, we got the Innovator in the building,
What's
bro.
poppin'? What's poppin'? How y'all doing?
Oh shit. Hold on,
I'm blessed. It's a pleasure. Thank y'all for letting me come up here.
Hell yeah. Hold on. We got this guy over here.
Oh no, it's family talk. No, man, go ahead.
You know, but you already know it's good, bro. Shout out Boss Barbershop for letting us come through again and bless the scene. You know what I mean? We got the boy, we got the one and only. But I start by saying, like we talked about when you came in, much respect to you, bro. When in this space that we call media, you're killing the game, bro.
I appreciate
you. Know what I'm
you.
saying? This is your space. Where you got motherfuckers traveling from Stockton, from the Bay, all the way around town to go to LA to go check you out and get on your shit, bro. So we just want to pay you homage, bro, and give you your flowers when it's due, for real.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. It's a humbling, like I was telling you, it's humbling for real. Like when I started, I never really thought it would, I thought it was a good idea, but you never really know like if it's going to work or not, but
yeah.
Consistency for real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's take it back, bro. Let's take it back to the young innovator. For real. I say, how long have you been doing the Innovator platform?
I've been doing interviews for real for about like 4 years. For my whole first year, I was not on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I was learning how to be a good interviewer, and I was just kind of figuring out the ins and outs. Like I wasn't filming. I was doing radio, so like it was only audio at first, and I wasn't even thinking about putting them on YouTube. And then
what year is this?
This is 2018.
2018.
This is 2018. Shout out to the homie Mars though, because he really told me he was doing YouTube and like he from Florida, so he interviewed like Triple X and like Smoke Perp, like a lot of people before they popped off.
Yeah.
And he was telling me like, if you don't film it, it's pretty much never happened. So that was like my big thing. It was like, okay, I need to figure out how to film it. And then I found a camera guy who was down. We started locking in and getting it done. And like,
so you weren't opposed to, but you weren't camera shy. You weren't opposed to.
I wasn't camera shy at all. Like I was just like, it gotta be done the right way. You know, I feel like when you get on YouTube, I mean, y'all know like first impression is everything. Like you don't want to come on there and it's just like it's not good.
Yeah,
people are automatically gonna be put off from it. But like. Even when I started on YouTube, I filmed like 20 interviews before I ever dropped one.
It sounds familiar, bro.
Yeah.
I had to build a catalog because I didn't want to
drop one or like, you know what I'm saying? Like literally you should record 20 before you actually dropped one, like put one out.
Yeah, so like, so the first interview I ever put on YouTube was the T Grizzly one. But when we had like a Dropbox of like 20 interviews at that time.
Were you scared to put it out? Because like it was your first video?
I was for sure nervous, for sure. Yeah. Like it was, you know, like you don't want to fail. You don't want people, you don't want it to not be good. So it was definitely the nerves, but then you think like, fuck it. Like, you only got one life, man. So it's like, if you're going to pursue something like in this creative space, you can't be afraid of failing or it not being exactly what you expect. And then you got to have realistic expectations too, though. You feel me?
That's real shit.
Was that always your background? Like actually approaching and speaking to people? Like did you just like speech?
I mean, I've always been like cool, like extrovert type person. Like always wasn't like talking to people. Like it wasn't like that was like I was nervous about it. But for real, my mom was in radio. So like my mom has a radio background. And
like on like
she not on air, but like she did like traffic, but like she brought me around the radio environment. So I knew like a lot of on air people growing up. Like I was seeing them do like I did like a Disney commercial when I was randomly at the station one day and the dude was like, "You want to do a commercial for Disney?"
What?
And I was like, "All right." He told me, he was like, "You got a nice voice. You should really look into it." But I do want to do more commercials, but like
say that.
It's just like it was like fuck it, but like really I told y'all interning was what got me into this stuff. Yeah. So the LA Leakers, like I give them a lot of like my inspiration for sure because seeing them what they was doing for LA, I was like, damn, I want to do that for the Bay.
There you go.
What was your position with the LA Leakers?
I was just an intern, but like what I was doing for them was
to do as far as like intern. What does the intern consist of?
What I was doing for them, bro, basically after their on air shows, they would give me the files, the audio files, whatever, and I would chop them up in Pro Tools and say like, I would get like the highlight clips for them and put it in a folder. Like this was a highlight that they might run back on the air one day, or it was like a good clip. So we put that back on the air.
Okay.
So I would just take it and save it and like organize it. And that's what I was doing for them. But like during that process,
looking back now, he's like that was good practice type shit. Or is it kind of
it was just like, everybody, when you move to LA, everybody's trying to figure out how they get their foot in the door.
Right.
And that was like the big thing because I was interning with them and interning at my college radio station.
Okay.
And the college radio station was trash. It was no rappers there coming there. Yeah. I feel like they didn't really even care for me to be. The internship is to see if you really like if you really want to be in that space. Mm-hmm. With the college internship. You're not
getting paid, right?
No, you're not getting paid at all.
Yeah, this is straight intern.
Some interns do get paid, but depending on what it is. But like if you like an engineering intern, you probably will get some cheese. But radio is a crazy game, like they don't really pay you that much. I'm gonna be honest. Mm-hmm. Radio, a lot of people in radio make a minimum wage.
Mm-hmm. So especially right now. Like, I mean, we've kind of talked about it with a couple people we've had on the podcast, bro. And like podcasting and radio, they're like, you know what I mean?
For sure, they're battling.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, not to say one's dying out, but it's like, it's slowly, not too many people are listening to the radio on the drives no more. You know what I mean?
Nah, for sure. And that was another thing for me. I never really listened to the radio like that unless I was like riding with my mom. Mm-hmm. We've been had the iPods with the aux, now with the Apple Music, it's kind of like, I'm about to play what I want to hear and play it back to back. I'd rather shuffle my phone, than listen to the radio. But radio is still a thing. Like I don't think radio will ever die. It's just like with COVID, we saw like radio stop. They're not. They had to follow all the rules. Like when you're independent, kind of like we are. You don't really. You set your own rules. You set your own guidelines. Like, and that like I was telling y'all, COVID kind of helped me grow my channel because I never had to stop. I was scared of COVID, but I never had to stop doing interviews. Like.
We're 6 feet apart. You got the table across. You know what I mean? Like, you're good.
Right.
No, that's tight. That's tight for real. I mean, I kind of want to take it back to that first episode again because, bro, when we knew you were coming, it was like, bro, we really get to chop it up with another podcaster like vibe. You know what I mean? Someone that's been through the experiences that we've been through. Bro, we filmed like 10 to 20 episode ones when we started, and we didn't have no guests. Yeah. So I can only imagine what it was when you had a guest for turning that video back on. You know what I mean? Like.
You been getting T Grizzly for your first release. What made you feel the confidence that was the one? You had 20 others.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm still that T Grizzly interview was a crazy interview, and I'll say that because that interview was out. I feel like for a year, so 365 days, it probably had like 1.3K views. On 375 days, it literally took off. Out of nowhere. Like it's at like 80,000 now. But that interview opened my eyes to what YouTube was.
Longevity.
Longevity and like I said, if you didn't film it, it didn't happen. So just because people didn't watch it at the beginning didn't mean they wouldn't watch it eventually, And that kind of opened my eyes also. Like, don't be mad if a video doesn't get 20,000 views in the first day. It might get 100,000 in 2 years, and that's you still will get paid off it, and it'll still be good for your channel. But like, that's why I say be consistent because it's like keep flooding the YouTube with more content, and you'll get into the algorithm rather than dropping that one video it doesn't do well. You're like, oh fuck it, I don't want to do it anymore.
No, that's so crazy you say that. With conversations all week is this word algorithm keeps getting brought up, and then shout out to Russell. Got seen him shit. He said, "What the fuck is an algorithm, bro?"
He said, "Put it out there.
Yeah, make great shit consistently, bro. Fucking algorithm."
I respect that.
So, but do you believe in that algorithm, bro? Like honestly, if you stay consistent, like it jumps in. You know what I mean?
I would say when I say no, the algorithm for YouTube is like. For like what we do is knowing how to title shit, what hashtags. I think that does play. I mean, who you have on plays a part too though. But like knowing how to title shit. Some of my like now, like when I first started off, I didn't really want my titles to be too controversial. Now I'm more like, I want the juiciest shit to be in the title so people can look into the video. But, I think something I do and the people I interview will attest to it. I usually tap in like, all right, is this cool? Like, if it is hella controversial. But usually I feel like if we talked about it, it should be fair and game, you know?
Right.
But like, I never put people like interview in like a position where it's like, it's some like police shit on there, or it's like some weird stuff that they don't want out. Like, I've taken stuff out of interviews that could have went viral to protect people's image. And I think that's something that the game is missing, because people, as a media personality, yes, you want the viral clips, but at what cost? I'm not trying to mess up your bread or make you look like a bad person, especially if you made a mistake. You feel me? A lot of people I interview are young, or they might have not did 20 interviews. They don't know really what to say and what not to say.
Very true.
You got a lot of control, and with that, people don't. It makes it, because it's that stump point. It's like, if I do it, yes, I'll look good, or it'll look good for numbers on this one, but then I won't get another 5 interviews or 10 interviews after that. How do you approach your guests though? Like, is it friendship to friendship relationships, or is it straight business, come in, come out type of ordeal?
That's actually a great question. It differs. Like, when I started out, I was more trying to be friends with the artists I interviewed. That was important to me, about building relationships and networking and all that. I'm not saying it's not important now, but like, some of the people I interview are real controversial, or like, or you know, it's just like I don't gotta be friends with everybody.
Right.
And sometimes you interview controversial people, if you were their friend, you look some type of way, or like the person that doesn't like them is not gonna interview with you because they're like, oh, well, you fuck with them. And it's like, I'm not involved in y'all shit. Like, if I meet somebody as a person, like, I judge them as that person I meet. Like, I don't never like focus on what people tell me about somebody. I want to meet somebody for themselves. So once I meet you and I kind of figure out like, okay, he's a solid person, would I go get dinner with him? Probably not. We can smoke a blunt, you know, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Some people I meet, I'm like, damn, maybe we could connect on some other stuff outside of the interview lane, and that's cool. Like, I've had sponsors in the past. Some people I'm like, all right, I want to get you like a deal with my sponsor or something. But like, it just depends on our relationship. But I don't never go into it and thinking we got to be friends. You know, it happens how it happens.
Right.
What about y'all?
Go ahead, you go first.
Gotta keep it organic, bro. I ain't on cap. Like, you can't really force friendship. You know what I'm saying?
No, for straight
I
up.
ain't with that Drake shit. No new friends. But it's like, I can't, like, I'm not the type to, like, you know, just put my both feet into, like, you know what I'm saying, another situation. Because as far as blowing smoke, as far as my foundation is my friends, I don't need too many other ones, bro. Business partners, people, if you want to be able to, like, you know, adapt in those type of fields, we can attach to that. But like hanging out, partying, you know, what I already do with my other ones, I don't need all that. You know what I'm saying?
I think, like, because the way you said when you started off, like, bro, I ain't never done, I'm speaking for me, I ain't never done none of this, the content creation, media, none of like this, but up until the last like 2-3 years, almost 3, like 2.5 now, bro. It was a 9 to 5 for me. I was going to work, I was talking to my fucking 60-year-old coworkers, you know what I'm saying? I come home, shorty would make me dinner, do it all over again, you know what I mean? So with this now, I think the more I feel like I'm on that vibe where it's like the networking part, like, let's network, you know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what can come out of it? I'm not looking for friends, because at the end of the day, you know what we're using each other, right? At the end of the day, like, but as long as we know that and we have a communication, we're for that, you know what I mean? And it can go forward from there, you know what I mean? But as friends, they circle small always, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like, but that's the thing, is like, the funniest things about some of my interviews I realized, especially like, so like, say an artist comes with like people from the label or people that he's not really close with. By the time the interview's done, these people are saying like, damn, I know more about you now than I ever did. And I'd be like, damn, so these label people really don't even know him like that. Like, so it's being best friends is not always ideal when it comes to the partnership, because with a record label and an artist, it's business. So we don't need to be best friends.
Exactly.
At this point, we're holding each other accountable.
Right.
With the interviewer, I just feel like, you know, be cordial. We're cool. If I see you, we're solid. But like, if we vibe that much that, you know, we go kick it after, cool.
Yeah.
But like, I don't go into it
Keep
thinking
it organic,
like,
you
I'm
said.
trying to be your homie. Yeah, it got to be organic. Like,
we, as podcast to podcast or host to host, how we got, you know, definitely host to host type shit. Really, like, that's what it is, bro. It's like, we can't go out of our means to try and, because we interview some people that actually are some names, bro. It's like, it's like we saying we just interviewed Backpack Boys 1, bro. Like I would rather go back. I smoke weed like every day when I wake up and go to sleep. I want to go kick it with him, not just because of weed, but like, bro, he has weed. Like he's a good conversation. He has a lot of knowledge and everything. But it's like I can't just, you know what I'm saying, like put myself in that realm, you know what I'm saying, type thing. So it's like I feel where we are coming from.
Do you feel that? Is there that line that needs to be drawn? Like what's that quote where it's like don't overstep your visit or don't overstay your visit type of shit?
I would say definitely it depends on the person. Like
what they call that? Am I being a nuisance? What
a nuisance? A nuisance.
Some people I interview, they like, you know, they want to kick it. Like, but it depends. Like some people are just come to LA and they're like, shit, I'm out here. Like, what should I do? Like, well, I'm like, well, I'm about to go do this. Like, you can come. Like, it's no, but like, it is a thing. Some people I know outside of music, so it's kind of like, yeah, we already been cool. Like, I'm not finna not say, let's not kick it, but I feel like it's always just depends on the vibe. Like, but like, to me, like, something that will get me to kick it with an artist is like playing Madden. So I play Madden. So they're like, let's play Madden. It's like, it's not really.
Nice
I'm pretty good.
Come on, Innovators, let's get it. Joe, you ready?
I mean, Jonah play. I don't play. I feel like I play games.
So if a rapper tells me, what's up, I'm trying to run the Madden, it's kind of like, all right, that's kind of our relationship going outside. Like, we'll smoke, whatever, but like.
Play some Madden, yeah. Who you run with, though?
Right now, the Packers. Next year, I'm running with the Raiders. I'm going to be honest.
Hell no. You're a Devontae Adams fan. That's what it sounds like.
He's a pretty unstoppable in the game.
Speaking on the industry a little bit, have you dealt with it, like labels contacting you about certain shit? Have you been in dibble-dabbled in that at all? Or?
Not really like that, but I did have a situation recently. It's not bad, but it was kind of, it was a lesson for me, though, because basically, I interviewed the homie, shout out Maybach Stank. He's like wrongfully convicted, so he's in jail right now.
Oh damn!
And basically, he got a deal with Empire, and so he took a piece of our interview, which he totally has the right to do, and put it on a song. But Empire, you know, they have their clearances and all that, and everything goes into their system to where now YouTube is tracking if their content is somewhere else on the internet. And so basically, I was getting copyright infringement for our interview because they took that like 6-minute clip out. But that's like, it's like
6 minutes?
I mean, 6 seconds, excuse me.
Like, but, damn, they had a whole song on your shit.
It's both our content, you know?
Right.
So
that's
it's
true.
like, I own it just as much as he owns it, but like technically it's on my channel.
Right.
I'm saying you can use it, it's no problem, but like there was like a whole copyright situation going on, but basically like it was just a lot of emails sent back and forth.
Damn.
And they took away the copyright claim, but like that opened my eyes to like damn, like. But now like that's what I'm trying to get into, putting all my stuff on like Apple Podcasts and Spotify, because that way it is more coverage on my side. Because if I put it out, it's already out there. Like, okay, well, you see that I put it out on this date. Like, even with the YouTube, you can still see, like, I was willing to take it to whatever lengths it could have been taken, but it wasn't that serious a thing. And that's what I will say, as a content creator, you gotta like fight for your shit. There's people that take my interviews and react to them. I'm not gonna hate on that and be like, nah, you can't use my content. But like, there's been times where people have like, I don't know how these people do it, but like sometimes they get access to the interviews early, or they figure out like, so say like a video is unlisted. Y'all know YouTube. Yeah. Say I had a video on Premiere and then I took it down for a second and made it unlisted. So since they're already on that link, they might get access to the video when it goes back to unlisted.
I never knew that.
And there's a lot of times where people have taken my interviews and put them out.
Yeah.
And then commented on my YouTube, like, if you want to see the video early, come here.
Oh, hell no.
That's crazy.
And I'm going to instantly take that shit down. I don't give a damn. Like, if you try to put my content out before, like, yeah, I'm going to take it down.
You
but
undercut
like,
me, yeah.
If I interview a rapper, they want to use a clip of the interview on a song or something, be my guest. Like, there's even like, for example, Blast. Blast has like my intro drop on his intro when he does shows and stuff. Yeah. I thought it was hella tight because every time Blast is performing.
Bro. Say that shit again, bro, please.
Shout out Blast.
Shout out to Blast.
Hell yeah.
And Blast has my voice on his intro when he does like when he opens up for his shows. Like it says like, what's going on? I got the hottest dude in LA right now. I got Blast in here.
Yeah.
And that's my voice on there.
That's
and it's
tight.
like, cool. I'm not finna say Blast can't use my voice. Like that's branded for me.
Yeah.
Blast is touring all around the world and people are hitting me up still all the time. Bro, I just heard your voice at this festival or whatever.
That's sick.
Day in Vegas, my homie texts me literally
so sick,
at Day in Vegas, like, bro, I just heard all these people just heard your voice. That's a crazy feeling to even like think about. Like, damn.
Now, would we consider that like an organic relationship that you and Blast have, or is that something that
I mean, we didn't become like best friends with him, but like he respected my platform enough to do the interview, and he told me like, no, I've seen you grow and I've seen you put in the work. Like, and think about it like this: people told me about Blast before, like he really popped. So like. He did a song with Mozzie, and that was like my first introduction to him. He did a song with Joey Fats.
Yeah.
That was somebody that I knew before like I really popped off. And I was like, damn, okay, I see that. Next thing I know, Blast is one of the hottest artists
in the game.
in the game right now.
Game, for sure.
But like, that's inspiration for me too, though, because it's like, he told me like, bro, I fuck with it. Keep going, keep doing it. Like, it's something here. Like, it's not. And sometimes you need that as a content creator because it's like, you have the moments where you're like, bro, this shit really gonna pay off.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
There's no dental, there's no insurance. Like you gotta figure this shit out.
Right.
You know?
No cap.
Right. You lose a great interview off of some formatting of a SIM card or something. Or
that's happened too. That's the worst feeling.
That happened.
That's the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
To not have the footage that you literally like should be there, but you just don't fucking have it, bro.
I've done
Heartbreaking.
I've done that just moving too fast, and I just be like, "Oh my god,
what did I just do?" We talked about friends. I mean, mom's in the radio game early, right? So you diving into it full head on. How supportive were your peers and the family to that? You know what I'm saying? And then,
how are they to this day? With that?
To this day.
To be completely honest, I don't know how they support it, but like they still feel like is it gonna work out? And I don't know. I kind of embrace it though, to be honest. Like, my mom, she's so my mom was a first generation California kid. So all her family, her dad is from Louisiana, mom from Texas.
Okay.
So she first generation. So like her parents didn't go to college. So of course they're really adamant about her going to college. So my mom did all the right things. My dad is an immigrant. So my dad's from Haiti.
Oh,
so my dad came here probably when he was 21.
Oh, shit.
So of course, my dad his whole life been like a hardworking man. He did construction. He like shit. He told me as a young kid he never wanted me to do construction because he knew how hard it was on the body.
Yeah, definitely.
But the thing about this new era of content creators, it's not always consistent. You can make it consistent, but like there's no how to. There's no like, this is what you do. Like, you kind of got to figure this shit out. So, like,
Thanks.
Parents aren't always going to support it, Like, I believe they do support it and they see me growing, but, like, they still kind of really don't know what this is. Like, what is this space? Like, this is new. Nobody was really doing this when they were growing up. What the fuck is YouTube? Like,
how are you going to make money off of this? How are you going to make a life? How are you going to make a future?
You're trying to live your life off interviews and YouTube, and it's like, my mom she loves YouTube and she's kind of dived in and she's seen like, damn, there's people with making a lot of money off this. So she's kind of opened their eyes to that. So, they're opening up more to it, but I feel like they're still kind of like, is it going to work? But the thing about me is I'm always working. So I feel like that kind of gives them some comfortability with it. Like, okay, he's always
busy.
He's always busy. He's always trying to get stuff done. He don't give a damn if he's up till 4 a.m. getting it done,
That's amazing, bro.
And that's the type of energy you got to have to it, because it's like, who gonna do it for you?
Nah, that's real. He hasn't said it yet, y'all, but Innovator be doing all his own shit. He ain't got no one else editing this shit. He over here.
He edits, he films, he sets up, he records, he interviews.
That's much respect, bro. That's much respect. BSP we slowly getting hands on. You know what I'm saying? We starting to see the work that really goes into being behind this shit and knowing like shit ain't easy, bro. And people from the outside looking in be like, oh, bro, podcast, like, bro, come in, come check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Easy.
It's not easy. It's definitely a difficult space to be in.
Yeah, as much as I never want to absorb myself understanding it, it's like, if you really think you can do it, try it out yourself. And I'm not trying to sound disrespectful, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's not hard, it's not easy, but if you really want to do it, just try it out yourself and just, you see what you can do.
I actually just had this conversation and I kind of want to get your opinion on it. Do you feel the podcast space is getting oversaturated?
That's a good one too. I feel like this is what I'll say.
I don't see how a podcast can get oversaturated.
It's not getting oversaturated, but I feel like not everybody, but a lot of people are trying to like copy each other or like, I feel like just be original and be yourself. I think that's one of the things that made me kind of like it, because I feel like my perspective was cool and it could be helpful to the game. So like, I feel like knowing what you're doing for the right reason. One,
Right.
don't start trying to do interviews just to be cool, because that's not really gonna get you too far. But I feel like just know who you are and what you want to do, and that should be the basis of it. Yeah, it's like, I won't say it's saturated, but a lot of people are doing it. So kind of like interviewing the same person. So like, for example, I don't want to say anybody's name, but like, if one person does 20 interviews, for the first 5, they might get a lot of views. By the 20th one, it's not gonna hit the same.
Right.
So
now, I mean, on like an album rollout, right? An artist goes on a full album rollout.
I'm like a big I'm known for being like, are you on an album run? Because if you are, I probably will turn it down. No disrespect, but like, if I have to do it, I have to do it. But like, I don't like putting out interviews if like 50 people or 20, not 50, but like if 10 people interview the same person and we're all gonna drop it at the same time, I'll probably wait. Like, and that's just like, and people comment on my YouTube, they're like, I know this interview not gonna come out for 3 months, but it's like, I kind of sometimes want the buzz to die down on your interviews and then drop mine, because so people can really like watch it and appreciate it. So like, if everybody's interviewing the same person, I feel like that's what kind of like oversaturates it. But if people are branching out and interviewing different people, like I interviewed the owner of Backpack Boys, that's some dope shit. Like, that's different. That's the type of shit that I feel like people need to be on. Like, people are so focused on music, I mean, of course you want to interview who hot, but like, don't. If you saw that 5 people interview somebody, I'll probably wait. To be honest, I'll be like,
no, me and him had that like it was just back and forth early, where it's like, are we gonna jump in this music media lane where it's like, you know what I'm saying, all these artists, we're gonna do the album rollers, we're gonna do that, or we're gonna just step in our own lane, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna interview people that we genuinely want to have conversations with, and that's what it's always been, bro. When our guests, it's whoever we genuinely, him and I, is that we get together. Like, do you really want to talk to this individual? Like, if it wasn't on a camera or no mics in it, would you be down to sit with him for an hour? Hell yeah, then let's make it happen. You know
and that's how it's gotta be, like, for real. And of course, I've interviewed people that I didn't really want to at times, and that's what kind of got me out of the radio space, because I was feeling like they were. This is real shit. This is hella funny. This is how the industry is. So when I had a name, I'll say, when I didn't have a name, nobody wanted me to interview anybody. They weren't tripping. The station wasn't tripping. Nobody was cared who I interviewed, so I could interview whoever I wanted to interview. And of course, when people started to see me bring in like a T Grizzly, All Black, a Nefta Pharaoh, Shooter Gang Coney, Haiti Baby, I started to have all these people come in here.
So that's where that was at the radio station?
Exactly, that's where I started at. Okay. So you see me bringing in all these people. So of course they're like, hold on, like, what the fuck is going on? T Grizzly's coming up here and we don't know shit about it.
Right.
He just came to do an interview with this guy and left.
Walked right through.
And they like, what the fuck? And so then it turned into, crazy. You made a name for yourself. Okay, well, these people are coming up here. Do you want to interview them? But it's like, no disrespect, I don't give a fuck about interviewing them. So why would I do that? It wasn't like I was there to be an interviewer. That was just something that they told me I could do with my time there. If it was cool and they felt it, they was like, go ahead, do it. If you want to do it and you think you can do it, do it. But it was just like, then it turned into like, well, well, can you interview these people for us? And can you interview this person? And they really were just giving me to be the people that they didn't want to interview. Because when the big name people came,
they were all over it.
And let me tell you, and in one of my interviews, this is where they fucked up. It's kind of funny. This is real shit. Pee Wee Longway came.
Oh shit!
Nobody gave a fuck about Pee Wee Longway when he came up there, but me. And they were like, "Oh, Pee Wee Longway's here. Nobody really wants to talk to him. Like, could you do it?"
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah!
And if you watch the Pee Wee Longway interview, I tell him, I say, not only have I been a fan of you since like the Gucci Man, Waka Flocka, all that. Like I've known about you for years. One of my close friends who ended up passing away, he was the biggest Pee Wee Longway fan. And I said, I would have thought it was disrespectful to turn it down.
Right.
Off the way I knew how much he loved you. Because if I would have called him and told him what I was doing, he would have been like, ain't no fucking way.
Right.
Yeah.
But
fanned out.
That's dope.
Shit kind of backfired on them because that ended up being my biggest interview for a long time.
Shout out, Pee Wee.
And that's the thing. Nobody wanted to do it.
Wow.
And that's what I say. How it works is like people having a knowledge of hip hop and who's popping is always, I feel like, what separates you in this media space, because it's like everybody doesn't know who's popping. Mm-hmm. Sometimes the people who work in radio, they only check on the list and they see who's popping on the list. But to really be good at this, you gotta know who's popping in the streets.
Yeah.
Because who's popping in the streets is gonna hit who's gonna end up on the list.
It's just like what you said, what you interviewed, was coming out hopefully soon. I don't know if we can talk about it, but I was like, that interview that you just did yesterday.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
It's all over
we can talk about it. We can talk about it.
Crazy right now.
But yeah,
so that you just do all 5 of them, or all them. That's on the.
And that's another thing. So shout out to Acito, GB, Young Iggs, Babyface Wood, Rico Too Smooth. Like the 5 of them, what they doing with Red Alert is fucking crazy because the Hispanic rap scene is on fire right now.
Really
and that's Northern Cal, Southern Cal, all over. And Babyface Wood is from Washington. So
Yakima, Washington.
Yakima. You shout out to Yakima.
Yakima, Washington. You feel me? Go ahead though.
And that's what it's about, because
you said that was your biggest interview?
That was the most people I ever interviewed. That was the most people I ever interviewed.
Biggest.
And I don't. We're gonna see if it's I think it's gonna do numbers though, just because of how many people it is, and everybody wants to see what they're talking about and what's going on. And it was a good experience for me because I felt like 3 years ago or 2 years ago I would have turned that down because I don't know if I was. It might have been 2 people. I don't know if I was ready for 5 people.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to be comfortable talking to 5 people at once.
Definitely. No, that's true. And then to say, luckily with one person, I said me and him got each other, pause. But you feel me? Like, and that makes it easier. You know what I mean? So it's like being by yourself, bro. I give you your flowers, bro. For real, for real.
Yeah, that's no cap.
At first, I used to write shit down. So I used to write down like questions and like think, okay, I want to talk about this. Now it's more of, I'm not saying I pretty much don't write anything, but I'll write down ideas. Like, okay, talk about this. It could be like, it'll just be simple. Instead of like a full question, it's like topics. Okay. But a lot of times, even like, so my recent All Black interview, that interview was 2 hours long. And I swear, after the interview, there was at least 5 things that I was like, damn, I should have asked him that. But it's like, I'm watching the timer too. I'm like, can I go past 2 hours? Like, is people going to watch that?
Right.
But that's why I started breaking down clips.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all break down clips?
We haven't. There's a science to that yet, bro.
We just leave it at the broke down amount, which is the hour. We don't do 2 hour ones.
What made you want to start doing that though? Like
the small clips, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I see people. Well, Vlad. I'm not gonna lie. Vlad only drops clips and then he drops the full interviews after. But he has like a thing where if you're subscribed to him or some little shit he got on YouTube where if you can pay to get the full interview when he drops the first clip.
Oh wow!
But besides that, he's just dropping 3-minute clips, 4-minute clips.
Yeah.
And that's just like a money move on YouTube to me. It's kind of like, okay, I can get 100,000 or 300,000 views off 2 minutes. And there's a 60-minute video. So if you do the math, not that every clip is going to get that amount of views, but it just allowing you more chance to get more views.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
more commercial watches or ad
People's
watches.
attention span, everybody doesn't have the attention span to watch 2 hours. You know? I'm going to be honest. And that's the thing, even like with me, so like some of my videos, I timestamp. I'm not even able to always fully go through the interview and timestamp it. Like,
that's a lot of work
life
too.
is going on.
Yeah.
Like, shit is going on. I might have to go. Like, anything could be going on. Like, I could be high and fall asleep. Like, shit just happens. But like, to sit down and watch a 2-hour video is a lot.
Yeah.
But you talking about a 3-minute clip of the most juicy shit that all the fans want to see about. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the full video, but I'm not gonna cancel out the people that just want this 3 minutes. And that 3-minute video might get 80,000 views. Sometimes a 3-minute video get more views than the interview.
Yeah.
And that my biggest thing when I started, I wanted the videos to compete with each other, see who could get the most views. But now I'm just like, I'm just trying to bring in all the views. It's not.
What do you do when in your interview standpoints when you have let's say you have a guest? Some guests, I mean, shout out to the rappers out there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they don't give that full answer. They just give the one words. What do you do when you see that coming off the back? How do you expand, get them out of their, of course, comfort zone, which is not explaining in so much detail, and getting them to explain the detail?
Especially with the controversy dudes that you do be having.
That's a good question as well. I think if people watch my interviews, I always start off the interview getting personal into the way they grew up and trying to understand their background
respectfully, because
I feel like that is a way to get them to like settle down and like be like, okay, he's trying to get to know me before he's like starts to badger me with crazy ass questions. Even like, I don't know. I feel like once you start,
you wind up basically.
He's like a wind up. It's like a roller coaster ride. I feel like, you know, we're gonna start off and we're gonna slowly go up to the top, and then before we start doing all the tricks and shit. But you got to kind of build up to that. Like like some people, I have started an interview where I was just like, fuck it, let's just get into it right now. It just depends on the energy. Sometimes people let me know, like, yeah, I want to talk that
straight
shit.
into it. Yeah.
Bring this up.
I want to talk this shit right here. Yeah. Like, I'm like, okay. But like, sometimes I'll tell people, I'll be like, look, these are controversial topics I'm trying to get into. How do you feel about it? They're like, okay, that one I don't really want to do. Because sometimes shit be more deeper than I might even know. Like, because I might see a clip on YouTube where it says, so-and-so beefing with so-and-so, and then you look at it like, they're not really beefing, but like, I'll see what this person has to say. I think I'm big on like, the way I ask questions, I'm not gonna insinuate anything. I'm gonna let you say what it is, you know?
Right,
and I'll give you the space to like, the floor is open. And I learned that from my OG Zoe Williams, because when I was working at radio, I was board opping. So that was like another thing I used to do back in the day, board op.
Board op is the
controlling like the board and shit, whatever.
Hell yeah.
But my OG Zoe Williams, he had like a relationship talk, but I learned how like he always used to say like he sets the stage for the guest. So he'll set the stage, he'll present it to you, and he'll let you say what you want to say and perform how you want to perform on the stage. But he's gonna make the stage.
Okay.
And so what I do is, so like say when I ask a person a question like, the internet is saying you have beef with this person. You know, I don't know if it's true or if it's not true, but what is your take on it and what's really going on?
Right.
That way the person can say what they want to say. It's not like I'm saying, so what's up with the beef with so-and-so?
Yeah, you're assuming.
Then it's like, how do you know if it's even a beef?
I like that.
You got, I think
wording it the right way.
Wording it the right way is like so important. And I tell that to, I even tell people that I interview, like when they go do other interviews, pay attention to the way they ask you. Because you can always be like, next question. And that puts the pressure back on the interviewer. Because I know if somebody tells me next question, I'm going to be like, oh, shit.
Oh, fuck.
I'll be like, fuck, let me. And people have said next question, but like.
How many episodes have you done again? Like total, if you can try and put a number on them? I'm sorry.
Total interviews, like ever?
Ever. Because I want to emphasize this. Nobody's
probably like
ever
300,
asked,
bro.
Nobody's ever asked. Next question.
Probably like 300.
Never.
Probably, I would say close to like probably like 3. I don't know if they're not all on YouTube, but like, probably like 300.
That's respect.
Amazing, bro.
Which is crazy
That's
to think
respect.
of. Like, but the thing about it, and I still love interviewing like my first ones, but it's just like certain interviews bring out a certain energy out of you, you know, like sometimes you have certain conversations, you're like, damn, like you almost it gets you remotivated.
Yeah. Yourself.
Myself. Because sometimes sometimes I have moments where I'm like, man, like I don't feel like editing or I don't feel like doing interviews or I'm just so caught up in my own world, you know? And like, you know, family shit going on. It happens, bro. Your mind is not focused on putting out content, but like sometimes I might take a 2-week break. But when I get back into it, I'll be like, this is therapy for me too. Because hearing people's stories and allowing people to get their stories out in the right way, I feel like is important for the game. Because, well, I mean, let's be real. It's a lot of people that are culture vultures that are just using people to get the views and asking police shit and trying to. People are getting caught up on stuff they say in interviews, you know. Nice. So it's like I think it's on me and on us to like change the narrative on what interviews and what media should be, because I don't think it should be like what you saying here is going to be brought up in a court case or the police are going to watch it and they're going to be able to build something off of this. Like, I don't want to ask questions like that. No. Right. I'll ask you if you gangbang and all that stuff like that, but half the time, police already kind of know that. It's not like new information, you know? Right. Or they see the video, it's kind of clear what it is, but like, I'm not going to ask you about shit that we heard on the internet about that you did. Like, no, I'm not about to do that. That's not for me.
Trying to find that foundation, like as far as like you, because like even with all of us, like me, you know what I'm saying? Like I try to stay clean cut, and I got nothing against my homies still be out there, you know, doing what they do. But it's like not surrounding yourself, trying to interview those type of individuals and say your first one. Who is that one that actually like was out there in that field and you actually had to make a conversation with? And I'll give you an example for me personally. Mine, I guess that I had to get a awakening with, you know what I'm saying? Actually, I really don't want to say the name because I'm not trying to like put it out there.
Yeah.
But I went through it, I think in season 8. So for me personally, when I went through that, I was like, okay, you know what? This is not my type of platform. I kind of wanted to play my distance in the conversation while Jonah was there. I had my stuff lined out. I'm just asking you.
Like, wait, you meaning like you're not trying to say the wrong thing type shit?
Yeah, because you don't want we know what we don't want to do for our guests.
Yeah.
We know we not trying to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But it's like at the end of the day, we still don't we're still gonna ask the question.
Yeah.
To the comfortability of you not being in their surrounding, their environment that they grew up with, how do you feel comfortable even asking them anything about that situation is what I'm saying.
I mean, shit, where I grew up, I'm from Richmond. It wasn't the best environment. Yeah, like a lot of people that I tell my best friend this all the time. We used to talk hella shit about kids that went to private school back in the day. Mm-hmm. We used to be like, oh, they private school kids. A lot of the kids that went to private school, like, are doing great things right now. They're working for these big companies. Like, they're really connected because, like, they were focused on doing the right things. A lot of my people I went to high school with are in jail. Some have died. Like, that's been around me forever. Like, so I feel like I resonate with the artists in that way. Like, similar shit that they've experienced. I'm not gonna say everything, but like even with me, like I've had similar life experience with a lot of people that I've interviewed. Like I haven't put all like my business out there, but like I feel like I resonate on that way. Like not ways all the time, but I think the one thing I do know about doing interviews, when they come, they know what they're getting into. Mm-hmm. So like I'd say don't take advantage of that. Like, like certain people, you already kind of know, like, okay, they know what people want to know about them when they come to the interview.
Yeah.
Now, how comfortable they are about talking about it, I would say my biggest thing is if you don't know how they're going to react to it, talk to them before. But that's been my big thing. Because sometimes people don't want shit to be sprung on them.
Right.
But I will ask you before, like, look, these are some of the more controversial things I'm going to be talking about.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you don't want me to bring up? Like, respectfully, I won't. But like, you know, people want to know. That's why I have it presented here.
Right.
And
on those topics.
And you know, a lot of times they'll be like, fuck it. I'm trying to talk about it. But there's been times where they'll be like,
no, for real though.
Sometimes they'll be like, you know, I don't really want to talk about that right there. But sometimes things are more serious, like I said, that I know, you know?
Yeah, it goes deeper.
It goes deeper. So it's kind of like, it's really case by case. Like, but if I really feel like it's going to be that controversial or they might feel some type of way,
chuck it up.
I'll ask them before. I just probably won't ask it, but like.
Yeah.
Yep.
there's been certain artists where, you know, I could have asked about certain things, but I didn't just because I know personally it's more serious.
Yeah.
Or some things I feel like are too, like, they too focused on. So, like, for example.
Or it's too new, I feel like.
When I interviewed CML, people were saying, you didn't ask him about the Mozzie situation. But it's like, bro, that's like a serious situation. That's not that's not on me to be diving in more to that. My whole like position on the CML interview was to let people know his story and who he was. Like, sometimes focusing on the beef isn't like important. But like, for example, I asked when I did Filthy, I asked him about the Mozzie beef. That was more like a rap beef, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't.
Everybody know about it. Like,
and everybody knows about it. Songs are put out, like, you know, it just depends. Like,
and I feel like you let it marinate. It was about time when you asked him.
My thing is, like, when it comes down to the rappers
it
and you know what I'm saying, it doesn't. This is just me personally. I feel like the rappers shouldn't get mad about the interviewee asking them about what's already out there to the public. If it's the first question, if you know, as far as
it's how you ask it. The savviness behind the words.
The savviness behind the words is real key because you can't just. Nobody really likes to be put on the spot, you know, especially when they're on camera and like.
I'm gonna use that one, by the way. How you led that up,
and I feel like that's what it all ties down to. When you get a reaction from that standpoint, celebrity, I feel like it just ties down to like the wordplay. They didn't word it the right way.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
And that's like a big thing, which I've learned is how you say it and how you ask is like really key as far as being in the media, because, you know, the way you ask it can get someone walking out or get somewhere. Like, I've never had anyone walk out of an interview, you know?
Right.
Like, that's never been a thing. I never even had really no one. Well, I guess I had one. It was someone kind of. It was like a little. I guess I got a little mad, but it wasn't like that big of a deal still. But like, that's not really a thing that happens. Like, you think to do that many videos and nobody ever to really feel no type of way, like,
big deal.
It's kind of cool.
Big deal.
It's kind of cool
because
some people want that though. Some people want to get you uncomfortable and want you to storm out.
Yeah, and not only that, but you by yourself too, bro.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta be smart. You gotta be smart. Like,
you holding it down.
And that's the thing.
By
like,
himself, you got his whole back turned.
You gotta be smart. You gotta know your environment too. You gotta know what the fuck you're doing. Like, sometimes it's easy to ask crazier things if you have a security guard or a few people there in the studio where you're like, all right, if this goes left, I have people here who got my back.
Right.
You're not finna ask somebody some crazy ass shit when you're in there by themselves and they got 15 people in the lobby and you're just in the studio by yourself. Because if they come out there pissed off, you're gonna be for sure like you're for sure gonna be like, fuck. But you know, I think once you like kind of build up and keep doing your shit, like when people pull up, they kind of know what they get into. I feel like artists know what they get into when they pull up. They never really know what you're gonna ask unless you tell them. But like, sometimes it is cool to be like, yo, like this is what I'm about to talk about. Is that cool? And like, it's nothing wrong with that. Like, nobody knows. Like, and the thing, you can still tell them what you're gonna ask or what you might ask, but they don't know when it's gonna come. So the shock value is not gonna diminish on because they know kind of what you're gonna ask.
Have publicists or managers ever asked you to give that up, like your questions prior?
See, they used to back in the day, but like I stopped writing down questions, so now it's like I don't even write down questions. So I don't know what to send you before.
Yeah.
My thing now is when I get some shit like that, is like, tell me what you don't want to talk about.
There you go,
and then we can go from there.
Right?
Because that way I know how to build my conversation. But like, a lot of times now it's off the dome. I don't write anything down. I know how I want to start it off. And I think that's like the biggest thing for me now, knowing how I'm going to start it. So like, I want to get into like how you grew up, what's your family around, and like, what was your upbringing like? Because that, you know, the way people were raised and the way they were brought up, I feel like plays into the way like how they see the world and how they feel about shit. So
we seen one of those comments too in one of our most viewed videos. They said, "Why don't you guys get more into detail about how he was raised? What was his story about when he was younger?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, you know, like we ask questions, but we don't really dive in because that's a whole chapter of everybody's life. Like we're all adults now. That's fucking like That's years that we can all be able
You
to
understand
about.
why the actions they made, it can kind of like, oh, okay, you were really fucked up at that moment. You know what I mean?
And and certain things, like, you be like, damn, certain things happen, like, you be like, oh, shit, like, you be like, damn, like, for example, like, free J-Bo. We in Stockton right now.
Yeah,
Shout out to J-Bo.
man.
Yeah.
J-Bo's dad would pass away when he was really young. You feel me? That takes a big toll on a kid. You feel me? Like, no matter how you want to shake it, like, your dad getting killed when you're a kid, that's crazy. Like, that's not easy for anybody to deal with. Like, your parents can pass away normal, like, in their sleep. You will still be fucked up. But for that life to be taken, like, so it's kind of like,
you can't comprehend that shit.
Like, that shit would crush anybody. So, like, I feel like you can kind of feel, you can kind of see, like, his emotion in the rap. You like, damn, like, okay. But, like, he been through a lot.
Yeah.
You know, so
I think you feel it more. I mean, I ain't gonna say this like you on record, but I mean, I would say he's definitely might be one of the hottest hot boys. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be
For
real.
sure.
Like I said, the way he spits, the way he motherfucking, like, I think when it comes to a song, he knows how to put one together. You know what I mean?
And I love that dude because even when we did our interview, like, and that's the thing, like, when you look at somebody's video, like, you think he might be kind of mean. You think he might, but he's a nice guy. Like,
that's tight. That's tight.
It was real cool.
He youngin' too, bro.
He young. He was open to talk about shit, and there was nothing that he didn't want to discuss. It was more me, like, I ain't gonna go that far with it, or I'm taking it in this direction. But, like, and that's the thing. Some people can take advantage of somebody who want to talk about anything, you know?
Yeah.
Thanks.
They start putting out shit that don't need to be out. But, like, that's why I always kind of ask people about their upbringing because, like, I had both my parents around, but, like, my dad is not from the United States. So, like, me playing football or me doing certain things as a kid, these are shit he never did. My dad grew up in a third world country. Right. He wasn't playing football, and they're not playing. They might be playing on some dirt, but, like, it was different.
You played football back in the day?
I played college ball, yeah. I played football up till I was, I guess, 20 years old. Yeah, so I went to Berkeley High. I played at Berkeley High all 4 years.
So you played as a kid up until 20 years old?
I started playing football in the 8th grade.
When the dream go away? Because I play football too, Pop, and I know there's that dream of maybe I can make it. When that dream was a reality kicked in.
I played D1 AA. I went to Howard. And, when I was there, I was just like, high school was so fun, bro. You know, like, football was the shit. But, like, when I got to college, I'm like, this shit kind of serious. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not the same anymore.
Right.
And I just feel like, when I left Howard, serious. I was like, damn, like, do I want to keep doing this? And, like, a lot of shit comes into play when it comes to college. Just like, do they like you? Mm-hmm. Did they bring you in? Mm-hmm. Are you their guy?
Yeah, there's politics in sports, y'all. Y'all didn't know.
Because if you're not, it don't matter how good you are at the time. If you're not their guy, they're like, bruh.
Right.
Have fun on the second team, you know? And that kind of changed my whole mindset. I was just like, I think it's something, as I got older, it's a bit harder for me to put, like, my fate in somebody else's hands.
Yeah.
That's why I've been kind of big with doing, like, having my own platform and doing the Innovators shit. It's kind of like, I want something of my own.
No, that's
I want something that I have control over, to where, like, even being fired from the radio job. So I got fired in January 2020.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Randomly.
Okay.
I did Rolling Loud LA.
That's pandemic? That's like...
This before the pandemic.
Right before the pandemic.
I did Rolling Loud LA. I thought everything was all good. I got a call. I still remember the date. January 5th, 2020.
Oh, shit.
I got a call that I was fired.
Damn. A call.
And I'm like, at that time, I ain't gonna lie, I thought I was untouchable.
Right. You're like, wait a minute.
I'm like, I'm killing shit right now. How y'all gonna fire me?
Right.
But it kind of opened my eyes, though, just like, one, nobody owes you anything. You gotta work for anything you want to get. But, like, also, like, don't ever feel that you're bigger than the program. Yeah, and that's the thing about being in radio, too, that my mom always told me. Radio will fire you. And that's the thing. You look at all the big radio hosts. I'm sure Charlamagne has been fired. I'm sure like
oh, yeah, he is.
all the biggest radio guys, I feel like they've been fired. You know, and that's just kind of a part of the game. But fuck it, I got fired. But I took that getting fired and was like, okay, well, fuck it.
You weren't gonna let it have that overpower over you.
And there was moments when I got fired where I was like, damn, bro, should I even keep doing this? Should I go find a new studio?
Yeah.
I didn't know, you know? And shout out to Lil Blood. My first interview, I don't know if it was the first or second interview I did at my new studio, but Lil Blood was like one of my first 3. And that interview went viral. So that kind of, and I talked about it in our last interview. That interview gave me the hope to like, oh, I can do this.
There
Because at a point in time, I was like, bro, I don't even know if it's worth it. Like, and I feel like everybody goes through that when they're creating content and they're doing something different. And it's like, even with y'all, like, I don't have a lot of friends that do this shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like the outcast. Like, a lot of my friends have normal jobs or they do like shit that has like
meaning.
It's more like security.
We got meaning behind this, G.
Like security.
Yeah,
I'll say security.
Yeah.
There we go.
But it's just like everybody's different, you know, and everybody has different passions. So that's why I'm like, I never knock what someone else wants to do, but like, this is what I want to do. But if you want to do it, you got to fully be 10 toes and believe that you can do it. Like,
thanks.
If there's any doubt in your mind, which it will come, everybody doubts themselves, but you have to learn how to like fight through that shit.
What do you do to get past that doubt when them peaks and valleys, when them valleys come, bro? How do you get through it?
Really, some Kanye shit. You know, like y'all see the Kanye documentary?
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so that documentary was real touching to me because he was super close with his mom. I was super close with my mom, and of course, like when I tell her I have these doubts, you know, she always encourages me to go forward. So I really felt when he was talking to his mom, or they wasn't fucking with him like that. Yeah. I didn't even know they wasn't fucking with him like that.
Tell me, but when they went to Rockefeller, I thought that was gonna be lit, and then when they were all doubting him, I was like, "Oh shit, this was a different
think
scene."
about it. This is Kanye.
Yeah.
This is Kanye we're talking about.
Like,
right.
Wait, what just happened?
But like, yeah, talking to my mom and just keep working through it. I think that's one of the bigger things. Like, if I stop doing interviews and I'm feeling like I don't want to do this shit right now, it's just all bad. Like, I'm just seeing all my numbers go down. I'm not really seeing like, damn, what the fuck? Like, hold on, I thought my shit was popping. It's like, nah. You have to work through that because every day you do it, you're not gonna be like happy. Even when you have a normal job, even when we do interviews, you're not gonna be happy about it every day. There's gonna be shit going on that's gonna have you sidetracked, but you just gotta fight through it. Like, working past it and knowing how to work past what's going on in your like daily life, I think is key. That's something Filthy told me. He said he tried to do some music every day, despite what's going on, or baby mama's tripping, or streets tripping, or whatever is going on. Like, do something towards your goal every day, what you want to accomplish. Because I always felt people was working all day. I just try to work hard. Like,
yeah. Got to. Don't stop. And I think football, I think football taught me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, the coaches always say that there's someone on the East Coast that's already up, working harder than you. You want to go get
it. That's real shit.
I love sports for that, bro. I feel like it taught me a lot of teamwork, you know what I'm saying? Good camaraderie, all that shit that led into life and how to maneuver through life. You know what I mean? But hold on, before we get into any deeper, bro, before we leave the subject of your savviness and how you ask questions, you talked about Vlad a little bit. Who did you look up to in the space? I know it wasn't always that. Your savviness wasn't always there, right? You had to work into it. Like, who were your influences?
To be completely honest, when I first started doing interviews, I didn't look at anybody. Mm-hmm. I saw what the LA Leakers doing, but they don't really do it. Like, I didn't really sit in there for their full interviews. But like, I kind of wanted it to do my own way, so I started off doing my own thing. But then I was like, hold on, let me kind of see what other people are doing. But like, I looked at everybody. So like, I feel like I looked at everybody and kind of incorporated something I liked from everybody that I saw. Charlamagne, for one, because I would see how he wasn't afraid to be controversial. Mm-hmm. And I think that's something I'd see with like, even me when I started. I was afraid to ask those tough questions. But then I realized, well, damn, if I don't ask it, somebody else is. And I'm like, a lot of people I interviewed are come from the same environment as me. So how can I feel? How is it cool if Vlad ask him, but I can't ask him,
right?
And I can't. And of course, they're gonna say Vlad as a white dude, he gets a pass that the same that the black guy wouldn't get, but like it's about knowing how to ask it. So I had to figure that out. But like certain things I took from everybody just to kind of incorporate it into my own. But that's as far as like what to talk about, because I feel like that's kind of key too to get your interviews to pop. Like, what are you talking about in the interview? What are y'all discussing? Like, are you talking about only music? Are you talking about what they went through? Are you talking about aliens and ghosts? Like, and that's something I got from Joe Rogan. He's big on like the like the astrology and sci-fi and aliens and shit.
Yeah.
That's something I pulled from Joe Rogan because my boy always tell me, he was like, Joe Rogan's the biggest podcaster in the world. Like, and I was like, well, shit, let me go see what he's talking about in his videos.
And people keep telling us, I keep hearing that too. It's like, man, if don't break what's not broken. If people fuck with that nigga and he's #1 podcast in America, you got to find something from, you know what I'm saying?
And he asks people about shit that I feel like,
or the world.
People I interview want to talk about aliens for sure. I've had some great alien
topic
or like, you know, alien or paranormal activity clips go viral because people that are come from the same environment as us, they don't really get the chance. Nobody thinks they want to talk about that type of shit.
Right.
Like Little Blood he loves conspiracy theories. But nobody would think that this nigga from West Oakland loves
facts.
conspiracy
we'll talk
theories.
About that. Yeah, facts.
So it's just like
funny.
Being open to try different things, and I never feel like I know it all either. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna go look and see what they're talking about.
You ever been outside the country?
Just to Mexico, not like crazy.
Nothing crazy.
I want to go to like I've always wanted to go to Amsterdam. Of course, I want to go to like Paris, and like I've been hearing a lot about Colombia. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh, me too, bro. I gotta go to Colombia,
I've been hearing a lot about
Colombia.
You go like this, so walking through the streets, you be able to just come here, baby.
Hey, Colombia is wild. Colombia, I'm coming.
Yeah, we on our way.
You ever think about taking like, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole environment is like you going overseas, you know what I'm saying? Going, you know what I'm saying? International, going international. You're pretty much, in my opinion, already known in the States, bro.
Yeah.
It's just about like who's on keep clicking it. You can't get mad at everybody around fucking the United States know you.
Do you accept that?
What?
Do you accept that statement that like you're solidified here type thing?
You can't accept that. You can't though.
Not really. I feel like a lot of people know me on like West Coast.
A lot of people know you, bro.
This is crazy. I don't think a lot of people know this. My first interview that got 10,000 views was an East Coast rapper. Shout out to Troy Ave.
Oh, wow.
Troy Ave.
Controversial dude.
You done talked to a lot
that
of
interview went up. But like that was my first interview to get 10,000 views. And of course I want to tap in with everybody. I think that was kind of the reason why I wanted the name Innovators, because I didn't feel like it boxed nobody out, you know? And and branding and marketing is key too. Does the name of your show box somebody out? Does it exclude people?
Yeah,
and that's key. Like if it does, the name is super important too. Like what is the name? What is your name?
Yep.
How are you promoting it? Like
we definitely had to explain ourselves a couple times where it's like, no, it's not just the smoking weed. We go to Dumbo and Chandra, you know what I'm saying?
You know?
Like we blow smoke, you know what I'm saying? Like we talk our shit. So
exactly.
You know
and I like your name. I think it's super tight. I didn't think it was all about weed smoke, but like weed and just talking your shit though, blowing smoke, like you said. But your name is super important too. Like branding is everything. But like, of course, when I started, I wasn't thinking about that. But Innovators is something that I always wanted to do. I didn't know whether it was going to be like a record label, which it still might be one day, or if it's going to be a studio or interviews. But like, to me, everybody has potential to be an innovator. It just be about being creative and thinking outside the box, you know? It doesn't box nobody out. And that's why I loved it and I ran with it, because I'm like, it's no limit to it. It's not like you can't bring this person on, you can't bring that person on. It's like, nah, everybody can come.
What I love about that is that what separates you from us type thing, that demographic, is that the innovator is you as a whole. Blood flowing through that motherfucker. Blowing smoke, ain't no blood through. I mean, we got me and Jonah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like Blowin Smoke is a whole, it's an intricate, it's with us. The innovator, that's you. You know what I'm saying? The actual human being, a name that's actually out here in the world. Did you ever envision that was going to be who you are going to be able to become? Because like at this point, this is the innovator is you, bro. Like it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not something else. It's you.
Yeah. Make that
You
clear,
feel me?
because for the ones outside looking in, like, oh, innovators there's like 5 of them motherfuckers on the innovators. Like, nah, it's you, bro. You know what I mean?
It's you.
It's just you, bro.
It's you. Blowin Smoke is me, Jonah, our videographer, our editor. You feel me?
I'm gonna be honest. Shout out to my cousin Nate. I was living in Koreatown at the time, and I didn't really know. I knew I was in radio. Like I didn't really know. I just was telling him like, bro, I got this idea about interviewing Bay rappers, and like I'm gonna use the Innovators name, and like I think it could be something, you know. And that was just the first general idea. And he told me, I think it could be big, and that assurance from him, because you know, a lot of people are afraid to take that leap, or even if you ask somebody some shit and they be like, I don't think that's a good idea, you might never go back to it. He was fully like, I think he could do something. I was like, all right, well, but he believed in me. I'm gonna do it. I always felt it could be something special, but like I never knew what the full like potential would be. And like I don't feel like I reached my full potential, but like it is kind of crazy going out and people know me as the innovator, you know. Sometimes it's kind of crazy because like, damn, like this is just an idea that I had started with and it turned into this. But I think it's just a testament to working hard and believing in the vision. And a lot of times that could be some of the hardest thing to do. Like sometimes everyone's not able to focus on that all day, you know. And at first I wasn't able to. I just happened to work at a radio station. So I was able to be at my job and do interviews at the same time.
Right.
But like,
which is a blessing too.
You know, if you have life, you got to make your money. So if you got a normal job or you working a 9 to 5, that means you're not doing interviews till 6 o'clock. So you might only be able to do however many you can do until you're tired. But you probably aren't tired when you get off work.
Right.
So like with me, since I was in the radio space, the interview was kind of like the break from all the radio shit I was doing. But now it's kind of like, shit, I'll do 4 interviews in a day. And that's all I did. That's cool. That's all I did for the day.
I don't want to, I got another topic right now.
Yeah.
But right now, whoever's watching this and who got this far into the episode, please take a sip and a shot with us right now.
Cheers.
Put your cups in the air, man, because this man is out here letting us know what it is.
No, that's real. And because like I was literally just about to ask, like for a young entrepreneur, young content creator wanting to get into the space, I didn't even got to ask him the question because he just answered it really. You know what I mean? Like it's just everything he just said put into fruition. You know what I'm saying? Like believe in the vision. You know what I mean?
You have to believe. Believing is like, it's funny because it's so simple to believe in yourself, but it's so hard, you know? And a lot of people don't talk about it. Like believing that you could do something is not easy. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think back to when I played football, like, of course, when I started, I wasn't that good, but like, I wanted to be good so bad. And I believed that I could be good. And that was like the basis of that. Like I ended up becoming pretty good, but it was, I wasn't good at first, you know? And I didn't think I was a good interviewer at first, but like, I was okay with developing and working on it. And like, really, I feel like what made me a great interviewer was the fans commenting on YouTube. They'll be like, this shit is trash. Or don't, you keep saying yeah hella times, or let the person speak and shut the fuck up. Right. Like things that nobody was telling me because I didn't know. That nobody I know was doing interviews. So they're not going to tell me anything.
No, like, real shit. And then not even that. It's like our peers around us, they're going to tell us, oh, that was dope. Like, I don't want to hear it's fucking dope to criticize me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I need to do to get better?
Like, my mind is already dope. Like, let me know.
That's the funny thing about YouTube comments, you know, like, there's no filter because they don't have to look you in your face and say it. So, you know, I don't really look at comments like that all the time no more. But like,
hey, so that's what y'all be feeling behind the fucking screens? That's
they can say whatever. Like people can say whatever behind the computers, or just like if they feel like it was trash, or they feel like you said too many times, cool. But that was something I really had to. People used to always talk shit because I would say, I want to ask you, and they'd be like, we already know you want to ask him. Just ask the fucking question. And I was like, damn.
I got one of those too that I fuck up with too. I got one of my, what is it? For me personally, that's what I say. For me personally, nigga, I'm already speaking. For me, you already speaking personally.
But it's like you're still learning how to ask it the right way and how to say it the right way. So like you're trying to make it extra clear for the viewer, but they're already watching. They're kind of already like, oh, bro, we know it's from you personally. You're saying it.
Right.
But even me, they're like, I know you want to ask because you're asking it. So it's like, why are you saying you want to ask?
But you touched on that, and I want people to really take that home, that developing process, bro, for real. Like, it's okay to go through that. Like, you ain't got to be the best at what you do because I had a conversation with a couple of my peers around me, and it's like there's two different people. It's the ones that will develop in front of people. It's the ones that will sit in their room for years and develop until they drop, and then they're fucking great at it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the other one either. But it's like, it's okay to develop in front. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you get better is if you just drop it. We both went through it, right? Like both BSP and the Innovator is like, it took us 20 episodes to drop the first one, but we knew once that first one dropped, there was no going back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to keep this shit going because the consistency in that algorithm we talk about is the only way we can go forward. So it's like, we knew once it was out, just stay consistent, keep getting better, develop, and just get, you know what I'm saying? Just better your craft, bro. You know what I'm saying?
What's your next level though, Innovator? Like, as far as like the establishment that you've already like solidified for you already, you have the, you can get the interviews with, the local rappers, the local artists, the local not even whomever, but everybody.
He can get an interview with whoever he wants, let's be honest.
But when he started, he said this whole podcast, like everybody can go back and dissect, but it's like, your story is still being written as you personally speak.
Yeah.
So if you can speak right now, if you can have your whole not whole envision.
Yeah.
What would be one of your end game goals at this point in time?
I think about this a lot, but so I want to get into. Well, look out! I'm gonna start getting into throwing shows. So that's taking all. So basically, my whole thing is I'm gonna start throwing shows, but I'm only gonna be booking artists that have done interviews with me. Ooh. So if you haven't done an interview with me, I won't be booking you for a show.
It's fine. That's damn near everybody. Like everybody A-list, B-list. Like what the fuck?
It's more incentive to do an interview with me. Of course, I want to get into the music space as far as like a label, A&R, and like the distribution, like Innovators, records type of thing. Open studios, but really. Also, I want to get into like interviewing more athletes because that's kind of where I started at. I did a sports show, but I feel like athletes are some of the hardest people to get in for an interview. So
why do you say that?
So many guidelines. I would say so.
I mean, he doesn't smoke. He don't.
It is harder to. They just. I feel like they just. I don't. I feel like they can't. If someone is in the NBA right now, there's certain things they can and can't say, you feel me? Rather than you talk to somebody who's already finished playing. But like, so like for example, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, how they got they got all the smoke, which is that's one of my favorite podcasts to watch. But they weren't talking about smoking weed and getting high when they were playing in the NBA. Can't talk about that shit. But like now it don't matter. But
that's true.
JJ Redick though, shout out to him because he's kind of he's doing something I've never really seen before besides on ESPN. He's bringing in athletes for interviews mid-season and talking about shit that's going on right now.
Mid-season. No, that's
which is crazy.
Yeah, no, that's
And that's the thing where I say you got to utilize your connections and people that you know before you started doing it because everybody probably loves JJ Redick. I know they do because they wouldn't be coming on there and doing it.
Right.
Every player can't do what he does because if people don't like you or they feel like they're not feeling you or they feel like you're gonna ask the wrong things, they won't do it. But that's clearly people in the NBA space really value him and what he has to say, and they're like, oh, it's a safe space for NBA players, which I feel like that's also important too, creating a space where the person feels comfortable to speak on. Man. And I feel like he created that in the NBA because I'm like, he got Kevin Durant in here?
Yeah.
Right.
Mid-season?
Before the playoffs? Like, I wouldn't even imagine, like, I would already know, like, I would probably never get an athlete mid-season.
No.
It's got to be the offseason.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is, and I've accepted that. I'm not, like, delusional thinking, like, why you want to come do it with me? But it's like, I'm not JJ Redick. I didn't play in the NBA, but, like, That shit is crazy.
It's just trippy. People don't realize that the people behind like us, like, you know, our standpoints, like we do factor in all that. Like trust and believe. I would love to have fucking like, you know what I'm saying, Josh Jacobs, you know, right after he just did, you feel me? Right after he 100 yards. I would love to have that, but it's like you can't do that. You gotta wait till off season type shit. So it's like you respect the craft when people actually do grab that individual and actually have that conversation.
It's crazy. I'm like, damn, like it's blowing my mind because his YouTube blowing up got him on ESPN. Like, and not that he's not credible on speaking on it.
Analyst now.
He's an analyst now. It's not that he's not credible to speak on it. It's just like, damn, bro, like,
thanks.
You on ESPN now off your YouTube blowing up, but that just shows you like what we can do when our YouTube blows up. Who's going to be calling for us?
That's what I'm
It might not be ESPN, but it'll be Spotify or I Do Hip Hop or
Think about me.
Apple.
I always think Revolt, bro. Revolt got Breakfast Club, bro. And that's a pod. That's a radio. But it's like in some people's eyes that they might be a podcast also because they're on all platforms type thing.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Charlamagne got the Black Effect, just straight podcasting platform. That's all for He Signs Podcast.
Is that on MTV or is that on?
No, that's his thing is the Black Effect. Like he literally signs podcasts. Like that's what he does.
Oh,
yeah. So that's what Charlamagne does. So you know what I mean? Like so. For sure, it's out there. Like the opportunities are there. Are you open to that to do a partnership deal like that for like a Barstool Sports $1 million worth of game? You know
I would say I'm open to it, but it just has to be. Like, I've done a good amount of partnerships. Even before I feel like I was popping like that, I was still getting like sponsorship deals and shit. But I think it has to be the right thing. I'm down to have someone sponsor my interviews, but I don't want to like give my content to like a Spotify. I would want to do something specifically for Spotify. It would be like
to be a part of your
this is
shit.
still who you are. You individually like to have these conversations with the
I don't want it to be like, okay, Spotify's bringing you on, and these are the people, or we're about to do a 10 interview series, and this is what it's going to be, and that's the kind of the direction of it. I don't want it to take it away. I'd rather my channel or my YouTube be sponsored by somebody, and I'm still in complete control of everything, rather than put it all, like Joe Rogan took all this shit off YouTube and put it on Spotify.
Yeah.
But that was a big ass check, you know?
Yeah.
Now with that much money sitting in your face, the conversation might be different, but right now I would rather just have someone sponsor the content and invest more into it than take it all off and only offer it through that one platform. But I'm down to like do interviews for Revolt or do interviews for Spotify. That's their content.
Right.
And they pay me for that rather than take all my 300 or 600 videos and give it to them.
I like the way you look at it. People don't look at it like that. I like the way you look at it.
I don't know how much are we gonna give to people, bro. You know what I'm saying?
We already over the limit. Y'all gotta start paying us. Anything over an hour, y'all getting free content at this point. This shit is out.
For real. I got hella questions, but I know I want to do this shit off camera too, because like I said, bro, we're in this space. You've earned the respect. I don't want to call you an OG because I know you're not an OG, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I've definitely, JG and I have sat and watched your interviews for our interviews. You know what I mean? Like it's to that point now. You know what I mean? So
I appreciate that.
Now the respect level is big, bro. And the fact that you came to the Nina, came to Stockton, California,
we're in Stockton right now. Shout out to Stockton, man.
Hell yeah.
Like I said, I've been tapping in with a lot of Stockton artists. It's kind of like, how can I not pull up to the city? Like,
man.
It's
always look. Anytime you need to come over here, I mean, for sure, tap in with your people already. But like, you come on in this side of 209, bro.
Yeah,
always tap in.
We got some good food. We got some good food for you, bro. Whatever you need,
sure.
bro. Good smoke too. We'll roll something up after this. If y'all made it this far, follow, like, comment, subscribe. For real, bro. You already know we got the innovator in this motherfucker, man.
Shout out to the sponsors of this podcast.
Hell yeah,
speak that to existence right now. You know what I'm saying?
Man, we out, bro. Shout out, boss, for letting us slide through.
Shut up, boss. Cuts. Go get your shits down.